Hello everybody and welcome to another tutorial. Today we are gonna learn how to implement the observer pattern in Unity using events. Let's dive right in. So here I have a little setup with a character, a health bar, an XP bar and a level display. Let me walk you quickly through this setup. First thing you're going to notice is that we have 4 different classes, each handling a certain behavior: progression, health, leveling and animations. Keep in mind that it's very important that every class should only do one job, because if you were to put everything in one script, that would quickly turn into spaghetti code and it would be impossible to debug and change your functionalities once you add more. So one class, one job. Let's start with the progression class. Here we have the experience points and a timer, so we could control how often we are getting XP points, as well as the UI elements, a text and a slider. In the update function, when a second passes, we're getting 10 experience points, as well as updating the UI, and when we reach 100 experience points, we want to level up. Currently, in the level up function, we're only resetting the XP back to 0. Now, we have to think, what do we want to happen when we level up? Well, the first obvious thing would be to increase the level, of course. So let's go to the level manager class. Here we have a starting level of 1 and a function that increases the level by 1 and also updating the UI. Another thing that I would like to happen is that our maximum health increases by 20 when we level up, so we get stronger. That's what the increase health function does. You are probably wondering why I have a health variable and also a maximum health variable. Well, this is because if we were to take damage and you were left with, let's say, 40 health, when we level up we would only get 20 health, so we would have 60 health. That's why I got a maximum health variable that won't change, and when we level up we get our full upgraded health back. Last thing that I want to do is to play an animation, so let's jump into the animation manager script, and here we have a celebrate function which sets the trigger for the animation when we level up. Okay, that is the setup. Let's go back to the progression script. So how can we call all the functionalities that we want for leveling up? Well, in the level up function we could get a reference to all of them and call the function. So get component health, increase health, get component level, increase level, and get component animation manager, celebrate. This would work, but that's a very wrong way of doing it. Let me explain. So by getting a reference to all these classes, we are creating dependencies. So now the progression class is dependent on the level manager, on the health, on the animation manager, and on any other class that we would add. This is called tight coupling, and you want to avoid that as much as possible. The progression class doesn't need to know about the health or the animation components. So the best thing we can do is flip those dependencies around and implement the observer pattern. The subject is going to be the progression class, and we will fire an event when we level up. The other classes will be the observers, so they will listen for the event, and when it happens, they would call the functions that we want them to. We can do that by coming into the progression class and using a public event action, which is a delegate type, and we're gonna name this level up. And now, in our level up function, we just have to fire the event like this. We're done here, let's move to the observers. In the start function of the level manager, we have to subscribe to the event, and we do that by getting the progression component on level up event, and by using this syntax, we are subscribing to the event, so the observer is going to listen for that event. Now we just have to pass in the name of the function that we want to get called when the event happens. Remember that we have to put only the name of the function without the parentheses, because we don't want to call the function in start only when the event happens. And instead of start, it's better to use onEnable, because you might start your scene with a component disabled and you want to subscribe only when this is enabled. We also have to use onDisable to unsubscribe from the event, and we can do that with the same syntax, but instead of plus we use the minus operator. This is very important, because if your object gets destroyed or disabled and you're still subscribed to an event, that would just create more errors. For the other observers, we have to do exactly the same thing and call their own functions. Let's test it out. As you can see, we get 10 XP every second, and when we reach to 100, awesome, there you go. Our health and level increased, our celebration animation has played, and it's going to happen as long as the observers are subscribed to the event. And that's way more efficient than coupling everything together and creating unnecessary dependencies. Note that you can also pass in parameters to the event. For example, we can pass in a float between the greater and smaller signs, but that means we also have to pass in a float parameter in every function of the observer. Well, I hope you learned something out of this video. If you have any questions about events or anything else, and also other video ideas that you would like to see, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and until next time, peace.